Yo, what's going down, everybody? Welcome to another brand new live episode of Strong Style here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by my brother there in Orlando, was getting ready for AEW All Out. Aaron Turner, how are you?
What's up? Cookout going down tomorrow. All excited about it. Marshall kicks off here in about 30 minutes. It's a good weekend, guys. It's a good weekend.
College football is back. I was watching a little bit of Penn State and Wisconsin this morning for sure. Watched a little Virginia Tech, North Carolina, surprising game there. So sports is back. Sports is back. And the NFL starting up next week. Exciting stuff. But this weekend, we got a massive pay-per-view. A lot of people are looking forward to it, especially ever since CM Punk was announced. So we're definitely going to talk about that pay-per-view. We're going to do our predictions, our preview for all of it. And there's a lot of matches. This feels like something they should have stretched over 2 days. There's so many matches, Aaron, and one of the matches got postponed. So it's insane to think that there could have even been one more match amidst all the madness. We're going to get into all that. We're also going to obviously talk about Daffney's unfortunate passing. We're going to talk about the trailer that was released for the back half of season 3. Is that right? Of Dark Side of the Ring?
Season 3, part 2.
Season 3, part 2. That's right. And then we're also going to get into Karl Anderson's stupid comments about Daffney's passing and this Charlotte Nia Jax shoot match that went on. We're going to get into all of that here. And of course, answer your questions and your comments as well. So make sure you send them on the Streamlabs. We'll put the address in the chat. It's in the description, and it's also above Aaron's head there. Or if you want to send in super chats, you can. But send some support for the show throughout the show as we go along. So, Aaron, without further ado, should we just jump into it? You got something more to say, my man?
No, I'm good. Let's go ahead and go.
Let's do it. Where shall we start, brother?
I got to start with the somber news first. That is that former WCW and TNA wrestler Daffney Unger, also known as, passed away this week at the age of 46. Just a trigger warning for folks here. I'm going to go into some stuff. So it's pretty heavy. So just letting you know. She read what appeared to be a suicide note while holding what also appeared to be a firearm on Instagram Live. The video cut out before going any further than that. The news of her passing was reported the next day by her family. The video is out there. The family has asked that people not share it. So I would just ask that you abide by those wishes and don't seek it out nor share it. In the video, Daffney expressed that she did want her brain donated to study the effects of CTE. So just very, very heavy stuff. And there's been even additional reports since then, police reports of exactly what happened. So you can find out what happened, but we kind of already know, or you kind of could already guess what had happened. But really just an awful situation all around. A young person taking their own life is never a good thing. Very, very, very sad, very heartbreaking news for somebody that was well loved. I mean, I won't front and act like I'm the biggest Daffney fan. Right. I barely knew her run in WCW. I knew her mostly from her run in TNA. But my friend Shane was enlightening me this week about the funny stuff that she would do with Crowbar and David Flair. Yes. And I watched some of her old videos, and she was really, really funny in that. She had a really good role. I also remember Tony Schiavone on Tony Schiavone's podcast when it first would start up. He would talk about how nice Daffney was, how much he just genuinely enjoyed being around her. So I know he's taking this pretty hard because he thought that they were pretty close friends. Yeah. So that's always tough to take on the chin, but just a lot of stuff, man. What are your thoughts here?
Well, of course, it's, as someone who has struggled with mental health myself, I know those moments. And the way I've always described it is we're all on this battlefield. You never know who's going to go down, and you never know why you're the one still standing as you're marching forward on the battlefield. That's how I describe it. And you never know what instances, what situations, what circumstances, what X factors just come into people's lives that push them into those moments. And certainly if she was battling CTE, Aaron, we've seen over the last few years that being detailed in a number of documentaries, a number of movies like Concussions, the Will Smith film. Also, if you want to watch a Frontline documentary, 4-hour documentary about CTE, it'll absolutely chill you to the bone about what these guys go through or went through back in the 70s and 80s, and why the NFL is being such a hard ass about paying them out with these situations. And it's only logical that it would start to make its way towards wrestling, professional wrestling, a sport where people are constantly applauded for fighting through injury to finish a match, or putting their bodies on the line against the most insane stuff like tables and barbed wire and steel chairs and what have you. I'm actually practically shocked. I'm actually honestly shocked that there hasn't been more of these kinds of conversations, more of these kinds of situations. We don't know if some of these people who overdosed or, got lost in the mix of all these things or ended up homeless is because of CTE stuff, and so hopefully, if nothing else comes out of this tragedy, maybe there is an opening of the door to the conversation about CTE in professional wrestling and some lawsuits filed to force these companies to be a little more sympathetic and understanding of this possibility, considering how much they put themselves on the line just to make the owners a dollar. And so that needs to be held in a little more higher esteem from these wrestlers in these companies, and these companies need to be more aware of it as well. So it's a tragic passing. I do remember her WCW run. That's where I first knew her. Her screaming and everything like that was just so unusual. It was something you did not see in professional wrestling. And also Mickie James eventually did the scream herself for her own run, being the kind of psycho crazy wrestler or whatever. But Daffney was the one that had the looks of the crazy, the goth stuff, all of it, great combo. And her stuff with David Flair was great, and she could wrestle and she could tell a story as a character outside the ring. So it's a horrible ending for her, an unfortunate ending for her, but she was lucid enough to want her brain to be studied by CT, and she shot herself in the chest. That's what Junior Seau did as well. So there's a thing here that I think we have to honor and respect, that she wants to make a difference in some way, even in her passing. And for that, she deserves an incredible amount of credit and respect from all the wrestling fans and all the people who knew her.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, man. Like, it hit me like a brick this week when I saw it, because I saw the video. Like, I watched the video, and I wish I wouldn't have.
Oh,
it was
man,
it was really just horrific. And like you said, you've had your own struggles. I've had my struggles, and it just really just hit hard and hit home.
Yeah,
and it's just, I can't. Like, I was at that state myself like 10, 12 years ago. So I know what that. I know that feeling, that helplessness. So it's just, I don't know, it just kind of took me back there. So it really hit me like a brick. But, everybody that, like, people on Twitter, like, came out, like the wrestlers, like Francine, she's one of Francine's good friends. Yeah. And it's just like Shane Helms put on there that he would put her over, like, he would do their hurricanranas and stuff, or like she would do the hurricanranas and he would like bump for her and stuff. And she would be so proud and so happy that she would like thank him in the backstage at least 10,000 times. He said, like, she was just so genuine and so nice. And it's just, when you hear it, like, you hear like a lot of bad stories about wrestling, like Dark Side of the Ring and stuff like that. You hardly hear about the good stuff. And it just really seems like Daffney was one of the good ones that we lost. And that's a real shame.
Yeah, and the fact that a lot of people have stepped forward to give her love. And I mean, I read Mick Foley's tweet before I, heard the news, right? And in terms of Mick Foley's tweet, I mean, like, can someone check on her? I'm very worried for her, blah, blah, blah. So, like, he is someone who carries a lot of weight in the professional wrestling world amongst other wrestlers and wrestling fans. So if he was out there using his platform to try to get attention to Daffney, try to get someone to get there for her in time, that tells you the reach that Daffney had in the business. Do you know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people, as you said, had very strong, good feelings about Daffney and are probably taking this loss very, very hard. She had a daughter as well who posted on Facebook that she is heartbroken, absolutely heartbroken for the loss of her mom. And so, this is the thing that people need to understand. This is not a selfish act. You guys have to understand this. For a lot of people need to understand this. When you're in a place like that, and as Aaron spoke about, it was his 10 years ago. Mine was in 2016. It doesn't matter if you have kids or a husband or a wife or friends or anything. You feel like you're all alone in a box and there's no other way out but that. And to even try to ask for help feels like you are pushing your arm against quicksand. It is that much of an effort to try, because your brain is so powerful that it can actually paralyze you and keep you stuck in that feeling and in that moment. And so that's why I applaud Daffney for having the wherewithal to make that video, even though it was tough for you to watch, Aaron. It was tough for probably a lot of people to watch. She was trying to say to people, like, I don't want other people to suffer like I am suffering, like I suffered. Please do something. And so for that, again, I think you have to respect her strength for being able to climb a little bit out of that hole to do that video before she made the decision that she made.
100%. Yeah, it's just a sad way to go. And then we jump to the second. It's like really part 2 of the story, and that's Karl Anderson. Karl Anderson of Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson tag team fame and Bullet Club fame. Just kind of shit on it. Indirectly, mostly. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful tweeted out that WWE sent a memo to all talent that if they were experiencing mental health issues or any kind of concerns, that the company would help them in seeking treatment. And Anderson responded to that tweet by saying, "They suck, bro." And garnering the ire amongst wrestling fans. I mean, we know that Karl Anderson was one of the many talents that have been let go over the past couple of years.
Right.
And that's, I'm sure that's awful. But Anderson also doubled down on that tweet, saying that he would not delete it and calling responders to the tweet a bunch of marks. He further bashed WWE, commenting how quickly they gave up on the Wednesday Night Wars with AEW, saying they got out of that shit quickly, didn't they? And just a bunch of just like, okay, well, that's fine if that's your opinion, Karl Anderson, but it's like, dude, like, read the room. Like, the timing is really awful. Like, the fact that a company like WWE, with all of its array of talent and all the shit that they do that people do not like, and given, that's understandable, the fact that they would take the step to help out their wrestlers in a way, in this kind of way, is pretty incredible. They would even pay for their treatment. I know they've paid for rehabs and they've paid for other stuff for people. I mean, I think Stephanie McMahon said in a documentary that they paid for Scott Hall to go to rehab 6 times, and that his rehab was in the 7 figures. So WWE is not opposed to helping people, and I think that Karl Anderson's comment was just really ill-timed and kind of stupid, honestly.
Yeah, it felt like the wrong time to grind a personal axe. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think I understand where Anderson's coming from. Look, all of us have been in companies where it feels like they're giving preferential treatment to certain people, that they're getting a little more of access to certain things that, there are probably plenty of people who could go to rehab under the WWE auspices, but couldn't go, but weren't going to be paid to go 6 times to go rehab, or having their rehab paid because they're not in as good graces with the WWE people as Scott Hall was. So that's, I understand the feeling that Anderson is coming from, because he wants to call out the WWE, but he's, and clearly there's a lot of bitterness there about how it all went down between him and the company. And certainly he gets off on destroying the company. And I get the temptation. Trust me, I fucking get the temptation to go after a company on social media when they try to play off like they're being a certain way about something, when you have evidence that maybe they weren't 100% that way for everybody. I get it. But the overall, though, you got to read the room, man. And this was about Daffney. By doing this, you made it about yourself. And that was the wrong move overall. Later on, maybe down the road on a podcast, you can say, I didn't like that they did that because I have personal experience with it and they weren't too keen on it. I think they were just doing some brand saving, but whatever. It's what companies do. That way you kind of lay it out. You've got your point of view across, but you don't take away from the passing of this young woman and cause this kind of drama and tension that goes on you. He did post the number to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, so it wasn't like he was coming from a 100% bitter, angry place to destroy everything WWE. It was just that moment. He just wanted to put that out there because he felt there was probably a hypocrisy going on there in his point of view. But you're right, Aaron. There's a track history of the WWE helping a lot of wrestlers. There's a track record of them not helping a lot of wrestlers. So it just all depends, like a company. If you're in with them, if they see you as someone that they have a personal connection to, they'll make every effort. Like anything, they'll make every effort to try to help you and get you back on track. And it benefits them because then they can eventually, make money off of you and help you out mental health wise or physical wise to keep going. But yeah, it's an unfortunate decision by him. And, people already have their mind made up about that guy already. And this just gave them more ammunition, which was a big mistake on his part.
Yeah, I'm notably not a fan of Karl Anderson. I think that he and Luke Gallows have rested on their laurels for too long, that they could have been the biggest tag team in the world if they would actually take themselves seriously instead of acting like a bunch of juvenile delinquents. So that's where I come from, Karl Anderson. There's been comments and tweets from his wife, it's kind of this weird thing where, like, sometimes she says it's a joke, sometimes she doesn't, where, like, she tells Karl Anderson to, like, come home and that he's, like, out partying with women half his age and stuff like that. So whatever that is, I don't know, but it just I think you're right about the mind made up thing because I already don't like Karl Anderson.
Yeah.
So when he does something like this, I'm just like, of course. And he says that people are chasing him down to get autographs and stuff. Hey, bro, ain't nobody chasing you down to get an autograph anyway. So like, and chill out, dude. Like, yeah, WWE let you go. I'm sorry that happened. That probably was a kick in the balls. But look at you now. You're in Impact. You're in AEW, and you have a successful podcast. Like,
things happen for a reason.
Chill out.
Exactly. When you know, it took me a long time to get past being let go by Collider, but when I did, you kind of have to sit there and savor. Oh, look, I've been able to do all these other things. I've been able to survive, stay alive, been able to, kind of build my own thing step by step, piece by piece. That's the game. And if it feels better afterwards that they did, considering all the madness that goes on now with all these websites in the entertainment business, you got to put that in perspective. And I think for Karl Anderson, the same thing. Put this in perspective, guy. Like they let go of you, they let you go, but now you've found a new life in another place. You've got all these other positive things. You got to look at it like, thank God. You know what I'm saying? Like my ex-girlfriend, she was a terrible girlfriend for me for 5 years. Terrible. But us breaking up was the best thing that ever happened because it opened the door to the possibility for the great relationship I have now. Sometimes we have to put things in perspective, go, thank God that didn't work out. Thank God they fucked me over. Thank God they let me go because it allowed me to have the space to create space for something better to come into it or to live a better life or to be happier. And that's what matters. You know what I'm making them pay is a petty approach that really doesn't serve you in the long run. I just don't think it does. And that's from my own personal experience. And so I think what Karl needs to do here is, kind of let it go. Maybe this is the final wake up call for him to be like, just don't say anything about WWE anymore. Let it the fuck go and move on and be happy with what you do have as a result of what they did.
Yeah, it's like he and Maria Kanellis have this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like every time, like this week, Maria had a thing. It was like someone said the words, put the letters WWE in the same sentence. She was like, I have something I would like to say about how terrible they are. And it's just like, Maria, shut up. We don't care anymore. Yeah. We just don't care. You're gone. You're annoying. Yeah. Stop it. Anytime they put WWE letters in the same sentence, like her and Karl, they should be married. Like her and Karl Anderson was like, I would like to tell you how terrible WWE was. Number two, we already know that WWE's doesn't have the best track record. I'm not saying that they do. I'm not saying that they're peachy clean here. They did help out a few people, but it's Jesus Christ. And I wanted to go into that. Jake Atlas came out this week and said that when he was experiencing mental health issues, that WWE paid for his treatment and saved his life.
Yeah.
So, that's a guy in NXT. That's not a top tier guy in Jake Atlas, and that he didn't have to say that. He's not on the payroll. He got cut. Yeah. So Jake Atlas could have easily, just said nothing, but he wanted to put it out there that WWE did help him in his time of need and saved his life. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think a number of them have, if they could come out and speak about it, I'm sure they would, but they're not ready maybe to, reveal that they had mental health struggles. That's still a stigma for a lot of people in a sporting situation. There's the judgment they think they're getting from other people in the locker room who might see them as weak or not tough. And so maybe not a lot of people are coming out to speak about it, but I'm sure there are a number of WWE wrestlers who had some mental health stuff go down. What was his name that was from NXT that was going to debut in WWE? And then
Lars Sullivan.
Yeah, Lars Sullivan. He spoke about it. He had his struggles with it, and that was one of the reasons why his coming up was delayed. And so those kinds of things happen, and it's real life. And I like that we're living in a world. I know the old school, fucking toxic bros are like, oh, we're getting weaker, blah blah bullshit. Talking about your feelings is the toughest thing you can fucking do. It's not easy to do, and it's so much easier to tamp it all down, take it out on your kids, go drinking, get into fights rather than actually confront your feelings. That takes strength. That takes toughness. And I hope step by step, as more of these athletes like Simone Biles and other people come out and speak, Naomi Osaka come out and speak about their mental health struggles and what they go through and the tough things that they experience in the world. I hope that kind of starts to turn the tide, because all these guys who are talking this shit from the old school days, they didn't have to deal with Twitter or social media or all this kind of stuff that is constantly 24/7 on your ass, 24/7 on. Anytime you flip open your phone and just happen to be on Twitter, hashtag your name, and it could be all kinds of negative shit about you that you have to see in your notifications. And so, like, that's something that a lot of people didn't do. Yeah, they dealt with the fans outside screaming at them when they went to the store or some shit, but it wasn't a million fans on social media screaming at you constantly. So there's a difference. And I think that does take a toll on a lot of people, especially young people who are coming in to play these sports and doing the things that they do. So yeah, there needs to be more understanding of that. And so hopefully this whole conversation, I hope this whole situation leads to more of an opening of those kinds of dialogues and an opening of that kind of help from companies for their athletes.
Well, those same tough guys that you speak of can't put a mask on their face. It's
Yeah.
too restrictive. Like, come on. I just also wanted to point out that Brandy Rhodes this week, you know, I kind of trashed her last week, but Brandy Rhodes came forward this week stating that she has crippling postpartum depression from her recent birth of her daughter Liberty. And I thought that was very brave of Brandy to do that, knowing that Brandy is a polarizing figure of wrestling Twitter, at least, that, you know, a lot of people do not like what she has to say, but I really empathized with her this week, and I kind of want to walk back my comments from last week because I don't know what she was dealing with, and I apologize for that because that's got to be quite the bear to deal with. And a lot of people were giving her shit because of that, and I was just like, dude, like how? Like this lady comes forward and says, like, hey, I got some shit going on. It's really bad. Like, it's not uncommon either. It's not like this is like a rare thing. Like it happens a lot to people, and it's just. I think she's really brave for doing that, and people shitting on it just makes no sense. Like, it's like, what the hell? Yeah,
but like we said, you know, there are people who just make up their minds about somebody, and so when they see them come out with something like this, and they start to paint it in a certain way, and the truth is, she's revealing what she went through and what she's going through right now. And postpartum depression, no dude should make one fucking comment other than, "I hope you're okay. I support you. We're here if we need you," about postpartum depression, because none of us fucking know what it's like to have a baby. None of us know the emotions attached to all of that in terms of physically having it in your body. And so for me, when people come out and start going after Brandy for something like that, it is so off base, so incredibly wrong. So, you know, I'm glad that she was brave enough to step forward and say what she said. And I hope more people are defending her for what she said and her being brave enough to speak about it for sure.
Yeah, it's just awful. Like I don't think that wrestling Twitter has to be nice all the time, but like for once, like let's calm down. So, let's calm. I think CM Punk said like a couple weeks ago at the end of like when the show went off the air, he was saying to the crowd, like, if you have something negative to say about wrestling, then just stay off Twitter and don't be an asshole or something. And I was like, that's not how wrestling works, but let's move on. So
it isn't.
So Nia Jax and Charlotte Flair.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Nia Jax and Charlotte Flair had a match this week, and to be honest with you guys, it was pretty terrible. Listen, like again, another person that we're not.
You put this on the rundown, so you go ahead, my man.
Another person that I can't say I'm a big fan of, and that's Nia Jax. And I think it's just evident every time that we see Nia Jax in the ring that something's not right. Either training or timing or something's off, because someone either gets there's either a botch where somebody could get hurt. There's either too much pressure on a slam. Like there's just too much of something or not enough of something else. And it just continues to happen. And it's like everybody except for WWE notices it. All the fans notice it. Like everybody on Twitter is like, man, this is rough. But like WWE seems to not give a damn because she won the match anyway. And I was like, what the hell? But at one point, Nia Jax and Charlotte were trying to set up moves. And I think that don't know this for a fact, but just judging, Charlotte was trying to tell her like the next sequence they were going to get into, and Nia was not quick to get there. So Charlotte was like, bam, and just slapped her in the face. Like to kind of not maliciously, but just to be like, I got to do something to make it look like we're not working together, you know? So she smacks her in the face, and Nia's like, don't do that. And then throws like a couple haymakers at her. I was like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. And then Charlotte tried to reset the move, and then that ended up going horribly. And then Nia Jax like dropped her almost on her head, and it was like, what the hell is going on in this match? And then Nia wins the match and beats Charlotte, and it's like, what the hell? But overall, it's just something's going on, and I don't understand what. Like, I don't know if they're trying to push Charlotte away. Like, are we trying to push Charlotte to AEW now? Because that would be really awful if that happened. And it's just like every time you see this kind of stuff, like I sent you the clip of her like basically running Rhea Ripley into the ropes.
Yeah,
like awful. Just
I slowed it down. Her neck hits those ropes in such a brutal fashion, dude.
Yeah, it's the worst. And a lot of people were saying, "Oh, this is a shoot. They got into a shoot fight." Like, they script. It wasn't a shoot fight. The thing was the timing was off, and Charlotte was trying to reset it, and Nia just wasn't in the right spot at the right time. So Charlotte probably did get a little frustrated. It was like, "Hey, I got to do something to cover this up." But at no point was she throwing like actual live rounds at Nia Jax. She would be stupid to do so. So, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about Nia Jax? Like, what's going on here?
I think this was all fucking staged from beginning to end. That's my 100%. That's my 100% belief of this. Is I was watching the match as someone who knows about acting and knows bad acting when I see it. To me, this was some bad acting on both sides of the coin. And Meltzer himself said that it was supposed to be some kind of worked shoot or whatever. It wasn't an actual shoot match. So that to me makes more sense. And that's what I felt when I was watching it as well. So it only just reinforces my opinion, what Meltzer said, because it looked to me like Nia has been taking so much shit for so long about about her ability to hurt people. So they went out and she purposely messed up a few spots on purpose with Charlotte's knowing about it to play up this idea that she's sloppy. Okay. This builds a feud now. And remember, she actually hurt Charlotte years ago in a match. So you have that bad blood to play off of. And certainly, I mean, there's no way Vince is going to be okay with Charlotte doing this stuff and basically exposing choreography of a match. There's no fucking way. That's not done. You can do it in the indies. You can do it in even AEW possibly, but no fucking way are you going to do that in the WWE on Raw, on their televised match. There's no way they're going to allow Charlotte to be like, just go off script and start some shit with Nia. And then Charlotte takes the pin anyway. So was she legitimately? See, if it's a shoot match, it goes all the way to the end where the person is actually legitimately knocked out or legitimately unable to get up at the 3 count. And that's that. And that to me feels like that did not happen here. They staged a shoot match, just like they staged sometimes shoot interviews or whatever. Not CM Punk. He was the best at them. But like this, so this to me felt like it was a total work from top to bottom. And it didn't go well because neither one of them are the best actors or actresses in the ring, let alone with a script like this to try to play this off. Because the timing and the technique and the emotion you need to carry this off well, where people are like, what the fuck? Is this real or shit or not? Like CM Punk disappearing into the crowd with the belt. Like people thought for sure that he was leaving with the belt and that he legitimately beat Cena and all this kind of nonsense. And it was like, no, this is all staged. So to me, this was staged, but they staged with two people who do not have the ability to pull this off fully, or maybe Charlotte could, but not with someone like Nia, who is marginal at best in all areas of her abilities and talent as an actress and as a wrestler. So to me, this is what it felt like overall. And some of those moves, they were purposefully kind of off. So Charlotte was able to get upset. But remember, they're building this with her. Remember, she flicked off the crowd in the match with her and Rhea Ripley. So they're building this kind of rebellious thing within Charlotte, kind of taking a little bit away of what Becky did and maybe trying to rebrand her in a certain rebellious way to get her over as a heel and then eventually as a face. So I don't, but certainly I feel like this wasn't a shoot in any way, shape, or form.
Well, you hit the nail on the head exactly. They're not good enough actors to pull off something like that. So yeah, that was my first thought. I was like, oh, this is awful. Like this is the shits. And I got to laugh because Cornette was talking about it this week, and he said everything that we've said, that it's a work. They tried to work a shoot and it didn't. It sucked. Yeah. And he said that wrestling Nia Jax, like getting Nia Jax in the right position for things, is like trying to position a waterbed. And I was like,
oh Jesus.
He didn't mean that because of size. He just meant that because like she's so hard to, like, she's so awkward in the ring. She's not like she's not like a Bronson Reed. She's not like a Bam Bam Bigelow. Like she doesn't have dexterity. Like you can tell.
Awesome Kong, who was awesome great with her size. Yeah,
you can just tell that she wasn't like a previous athlete. Like there's just something different about it. Like the way that Charlotte Flair moves in the ring. She was a former volleyball player, like gymnast. She was an athlete. You can tell the way that she moves.
Yes,
and that Nia Jax is a couch. Like it just doesn't. It's not good, dude.
No, I agree. And Zeno Hour says, counter to Rocha's argument, Nia would have botched the work shoot. She did botch the work shoot. So it's not a counter, Zeno. It's reinforcing my point, not countering my points.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. They both botched this shoot. It was a work shoot. They both botched it. It did not go well. I put way more blame on Nia, of course, than Charlotte, because Charlotte has told incredible stories in the ring with the right partners. Nia does not have that legacy in any way, shape, or form for anything. Maybe the body shaming thing for a couple of months or a few months when everybody got behind her, that was good. But again, that's probably Alexa doing a majority of the work to sell that more than Nia. So, I mean, in the end, God respect Nia, because she takes all kinds of crap from fans, because a lot of them just do not like what she does in the ring, do not like what she does outside the ring as well as a character. So I don't know. We'll see, man, in the long run. But I think they're just setting up this as the next like contender for the belt type thing. So,
well, I mean, let's look at Nia Jax like first title win, that Alexa Bliss match. Like they quickly did a about face on that, because they said, "Oh shit, Nia Jax is the champion. We there's nothing we can do with her now." So they just gave the title back to Alexa. So it's just, I don't know. I don't think Nia Jax is the right person. I think that ship has sailed. I think the person that should be in contention for that title is Shayna Baszler, and she's getting beat for the 14th time this year with a roll up. 14 times. Unreal.
Was it Murderante has a great point. He says Piper Niven Dewdrop is everything in the ring that Nia isn't.
She's quite good. Yeah, I like Piper
1,000% agree. Yeah. I mean, Nia is like Eva Marie in the ring. They both just are not good regardless of size. Their timing is no good. Their setups are, you can see a mile away, and it's just, all of it just does not work no matter how hard or how much practice they have. They just can't get there consistently, match to match to match. And it shows, and it's unfortunate that all these people have, high paying jobs wrestling in the ring and the women's side of things, when so many women have been released who can kick ass in the ring, so like Ruby Riott is a million times better than Nia Jax or fucking Eva Marie in the ring, so, oh, well. All right, so where are we at? Oh yeah, sorry, we got some Streamlabs that have come through. Ladies and gentlemen, keep sending in your Streamlabs super chats. I know we're having a fun conversation. We got 70 of you guys watching this right now. Thank you very much. Make sure you hit that like button while you're watching it. That's that thumbs up button, but also send in support for the show. We'd appreciate it madly if you would do so. Hill Nellums, thank you very much, Hill Nellums. Good to see you again, my man. We were missing you. He said, just a shout out to you guys, as I haven't been able to catch you for a while. Do you think Punk and Colt Cabana have buried the hatchet? And if so, do you think there would be a possible program between them? Sorry if you've already discussed this. We haven't. So, Aaron, I'll let you go first on this one. What do you think?
No, I don't think they have.
Really? Okay.
It runs deep, man. Like they've known each other forever, and there was some betrayal in there and this and that. So I don't know how you recover from that. I think that, will they work nice together backstage at AEW, and like, will they give each other like a hey as they walk by? Probably. I don't think they're going to make each other unsafe in the work environment or make it awkward, but it's a lot to recover from, man. So I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Punk's not known, in my opinion. He's got that personality that once you cross Punk, it's hard to go back across that line, because he seems like a guy that like really kind of stands behind people, is really loyal to people. So when he feels he's been fucked over, he's not keen to go back across the line like the WWE. And that's how you do it. Like Karl Anderson going off of the WWE in a bad moment, that's not how you do it. How CM Punk did it in his promo, that's how you do it. Subtle shot, an overall shot about the business, that's how you do it, right? So I think he has an ability to speak about this situation. And I think with Colt Cabana, the same thing. He'll look at it from the bigger picture. And if he has to work with this guy or pass, like you said, Aaron, pass by him in the hall, he'll be decent. He'll be courteous. But getting back into being a friend with him, I think is probably a huge climb for Colt Cabana, a huge mountain for Colt Cabana to climb for sure. Yeah. It's hard if you've sued that person. True. Let's see here. Roberto Arsenal says, so with the report that Vince is producing the new NXT, what can we expect? Britt and Christy Statlander, to me, are AEW's best female wrestlers, so I have high expectations for this match. AEW got my older cousin to end his 8-year break from liking wrestling. Wow, that's great. Aaron, it's not on the rundown, but we should talk about it. It was announced that Vince is producing NXT without Triple H. Is that correct?
That was the initial report. That report has since been debunked. It was originally reported that Vince and Bruce Pritchard would be overseeing NXT,
right.
But that is not true. It is said that it's still very much in the hands of Shawn Michaels and Triple H. So that's why I didn't put it on there, because initially I was like, oh yeah, that's something really good. But it looks like it's still everything goes through Vince, right? So right. Triple H and Shawn will have control of it, but Vince will have ultimate control of it. So he's not going to be producing week-to-week television. First of all, you don't have the fucking time. And I don't think he cares enough about it. But NXT got the new look. Like, they showed the blueprints for the new arena, like what it would look like. And I don't know, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. And that was all coming from the Wrestling Observer, by the way. They had initially reported it that that was the situation, and then they walked it back and what have you. So you're right. They won't be directly producing the weekly NXT show overall. So so it'll still be Shawn and Triple H in charge of it over. But I'm sure they're probably gonna have more say, because I would imagine the reason this is all happening is because Vince wasn't happy with what happened with NXT, so he wants more input, thinking he knows what's best for business. So
unreal.
In that way, I imagine that's how that report could be accurate. Let's see. J-Dog, he asked the super chat. He says, who is more hated, Nia Jax or Eva Marie? Ooh, good question.
That's a good question. I think in terms of like between wrestling fans, I think more hated is Eva Marie. I think in terms of like people that like WWE for wrestling's sake and stuff like that, it's Nia Jax.
Yeah.
So it's like different levels of hate. I think that Eva Marie has go away heat. Like when she shows up, everybody's just like, oh my God. Yeah. At least with Nia Jax, even though we just kind of shit on her for like 20 minutes, like at least you know that she's a wrestler and that she is there for wrestling.
Yes.
Like she's not like using it as a stepping stone to get anywhere else right now, at least not that I know of. So in that respect, I think that Nia Jax is more respected than Eva Marie, if that makes sense.
Also, I agree with you 1,000%. They don't see her as a holiday person, like showing up holidaying in wrestling in order to advance her brand, like Eva Marie seems to possibly be doing. And I think she's got a huge social media following, so obviously people like what she does, or people are attracted to her, turned on by her, which is an element you cannot remove from this equation. With Nia Jax, you're right. I think it's more of the wrestling aspect. And so people, at least at the foundational level, respect that she is a wrestler first and foremost, and they don't feel that way about Eva Marie. So I think I agree. So Eva Marie a little more hated than Nia Jax overall, I think. Francisco Lopez, hey guys, I can't wait for tomorrow. AEW All Out. I'm happy people are getting help for their mental health. Everybody needs therapy or counseling if it'll help. RIP Daffney. Also, are you guys going to continue reviewing heels? Yeah, we haven't reviewed it, Aaron. So maybe we'll circle back. Maybe. Are you enjoying it? Have you been watching it?
I haven't caught it the past couple episodes, to be honest with you. So that's my fault. I've had some stuff going on, so I've missed it. We need to get on it because CM Punk has been on it since then. So is Bonnie Somerville. So we'll circle back to that at some point. I think with Dark Side of the Ring coming up too, we're gonna have like a lot of bonus stuff coming.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll do a mid-season review and then an end-of-season review.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, and then we'll jump into Dark Side of the Ring for damn sure. So looking forward to that. And Last Cinema Sailor, thank you, Last Cinema Sailor, says, well said, gents, well said. R.I.P. Daffney, most epic fan signs of all time. Ooh, Austin 316, and if Cena wins, we riot. What are your picks? Aaron, do you have any new figures in your collection or new merch that you guys bought? P.S. Nia and Shayna are Maria K level in the ring. Wow. Not Shayna. Shayna's good in the ring.
Shayna's great. Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot. New merch. Not really. I actually just sold my Adam Cole t-shirt because I'm like, Adam Cole's a free agent. I'm cashing in right now.
Yeah.
So I sold my autographed Adam Cole t-shirt. So I've been selling more than I've been buying lately. I got some, I've been buying football cards. I got a Tua.
Oh, nice.
I've been kind of getting back into my sports card collecting. I'm sorry, what was the other part?
Have you seen, what are your favorite fan signs that have ever
been? Yeah. If Cena Wins We Ride is great. Austin 316 is great.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're so good. There was actually one at SummerSlam that actually absolutely rolled me. And it was somebody like the Iron Sheik would say a lot, break his back, make him humble. And somebody put that on a sign at SummerSlam. It was like in the front row. I thought that was fucking hysterical. So that's good. One sign, it's pretty vulgar, but it said face F me Finn Balor. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Wow.
But for my money, like the thing that I gravitate towards the most, and I've seen it in person, which is wild after all these years, is that back in the day, I don't know if it was WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 6, whatever it was, but Hulk Hogan, there was this sign, like a big banner that said Hulkamania will live forever. And it was like this big thing because like Hulk pointed to it and they were doing the thing. Yeah. And he has that at his beach shop, like that original sign. It's a big I was like, dude, that is amazing. Like it's just a relic, like a piece of wrestling history that I really like. That kind of, I don't know if that counts as a sign, but it kind of comes off the top of my head.
I think there are a couple. I like. There was people have always had a thing for Randy Orton. So Randy Orton always had like what Val Venus generated, Randy Orton naturally has and has had for multiple years. So some interesting signs with Randy Orton. I remember one sign that said Randy kills ovaries. And I was just like, holy shit, dude, holy shit. And that was a woman holding one up. Also, a kid holding one up for his mom. And it said, hey, Randy, my mom wants your number. And he was like next to his mom. So I thought that was really funny. I like the Real Men Wear Sequins, which was a kind of shout out to, I think, Randy Macho Man Savage. So I like those, that one as well, kind of breaking the stereotype of that, which I thought was really funny overall. Yep. So yeah, those are some of the ones that stick out in my head from the times that I've seen stuff on some great signs in the audience.
What's really good is if you go watch like college game, if you're into college football. I know we have a lot of listeners that don't even give a shit, but like if you watch College Game Day, there are so many funny signs that people create for College Game Day. It's hysterical.
Oh yeah.
And that reminded me, like all this talk reminded me of one that they had on AEW recently that said MJF has a Hello Kitty Dreamcast. And I was like, that's so random, but it's really funny also. I like that one a lot. CM Punk or not CM Punk, but MJF has a Hello Kitty Dreamcast. Like,
my God.
That's oddly specific. I do not. I have a regular Dreamcast.
I love it. The one I like, the last one before we roll on is I remember the Kim and Kanye one where they put Big E's face in the middle. They said Kim and Kanye's child, and it was Big E in the middle. I thought
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I thought it was fucking brilliant, man. Francisco, thank you very much for your question there that got us down this track. And Last Cinema Sailor, thank you very much for your question. That's talking about signs as well. So thank you. And thanks to Roberto Arsenal as well. All right, let's see. Okay, no more Streamlabs Super Chat so far. So let's keep moving on with the show. We got about 45 minutes left in the show. So please, if you got Streamlabs and Super Chat, you got questions you want to ask us, send them in. We will gladly talk about them on the show. All right, Aaron, where are we off to, brother, man?
All right, so we're talking about Dark Side of the Ring. We didn't catch this last week. That was my fault. I admitted this, but Dark Side of the Ring Season 3 Part 2 was revealed last week, and it looks like the show will return September 16th with a new batch, so not too long, with a new batch of 7 episodes to close out Season 3. Topics discussed will include the plane ride from hell, the career of Chris Kanyon, FMW, Johnny K9, Luna Vachon, XPW, and the steroid trials. So we got a lot going on here. Man. Dark Side of the Ring Season 3 or Part 2. Jesus Christ, can't even get it out of my mouth. Which one of these are you looking forward to, man? Because it's the plane ride from hell for me because I want to hear people talk about it, so I'm excited for that.
I'm in, like, the Plane Ride from Hell, certainly a number one, probably tied with the steroid trials. And I'm mad that the steroid trials is only one episode. I would like to have been like Benoit, a 2-part episode. I would like to have had a 2-part episode on the steroid trials, especially when they're about to do this very much cleaned up, glossed over show with Vince McMahon and Blumhouse about the steroid trials. I would rather see an honest assessment of it from an outside source that could look at it objectively and give their opinion on it. So I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, that's the Plane Ride from Hell steroid trials trial. But I'm curious about Luna Vachon, because that's a wrestler that I've always been curious about, and the snippets they have in the trailer about her make me even more interested to see this episode and what they're going to cover and what they're going to talk about with her, because she's an unusual character in so many ways. I think the Chris Canyon one is going to depress us like crazy through, for how it all ended. I don't know much about FMW, Johnny K9, and I do know XPW, so that's going to be fun. But FMW and Johnny K9, I'm kind of not sure about, so I want to get more of that or see more of that, and I'm curious for it.
Yeah, I'm not even I don't know about Johnny K9 or XPW or FMW. I don't know anything about any of that shit. Okay. So I'm not going to look it up either, because I just want to be, in it, just be in it. Because if I find out everything, I get obsessed and I'll just read everything. So I don't want to. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Luna, because I don't know what exactly what happened with Luna, because I know she hated Sable. Yes. I know that, but who didn't? And that she had a real life relationship with Gangrel, David Heath. I know that they were together. So I don't know too much about that. So I always liked Luna. I thought she was a very interesting character for sure. Yeah. So that'll be fun. But I mean, Dark Side of the Ring is something that you and I both enjoy. It's something we've enjoyed covering, watching, and I think they're going to have another smash hit on their hands here.
Yeah, I can't wait. And when you set the bar this high, Aaron, you've got to come back in season 4 with a number of things. So I hope during this break, which was probably COVID related, they're already brainstorming for season 4 stuff and lining up topics to discuss for that or to cover, because this is a great, great show. And we both enjoy the hell out of it, as you said. So wanting to see more topics that interest us overall will make it great. And I'm going to reach out to Vice this week and see if we can get the episodes ahead of time and maybe do a little mini review ourselves a little bit ahead of time. So we shall see if I have any cachet to shake the tree over there to get some episodes ahead of time. We shall see. Okay, cool. Looking forward to that. We'll see when it happens. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious. I hope the Plane Ride from, because I mean, Jim Ross being like, I hope to God I'll never speak about it. If I never speak about Plane Ride from Hell again, I'll be happy as a son of a bitch. So clearly they're going to get into a lot of, Ranger Donald right there echoing exactly what I'm saying. I like Jared's commentary about the Plane Ride from Hell. Exactly. So yeah, we shall see. We shall see. All right, where are we off to, brother?
All right, so now we're talking about All Out.
Ooh, here we go.
The big pay-per-view takes place this Sunday from Chicago, Illinois. Of course, the return of CM Punk to the ring against Darby Allin. We've got a lot going on. One match was removed due to travel issues. That is Pac versus Andrade El Idolo. It will no longer happen, which sucks, because that was going to be an awesome match, I'm sure.
Right.
Pac needs to get that shit figured out. Like, are you going to move to the U.S.? You don't have to, but it's like, are you in or are you out? Like, because we've had these issues. I know COVID's going on. I know it's a lot of issues, but it's like, your company's based in America. Are you in or are you out, bro?
Right.
Like, anyway, it's frustrating. So I don't know if that's the issue, but I
don't disagree with you. Look, me doing these shows virtually, that's a different situation. If you're going to ply your trade in a live event situation constantly, you got to be on the same landmass, man. You can't be hanging out on another landmass. You've got to find a way to get over here. This is your career. You got to get over here, rent an apartment, have them, half pay your apartment or whatever, but you've got to make it work here, man. You can't lose out on something like All Out because of travel issues. That's what the fuck, man. It's your career we're talking about. Get on it. If there's something else going on, that's a separate conversation.
Yeah.
But him coming here, he should be absolutely here in the States to do and live wherever the fuck you want in the States, but be in the States so you can fly in or drive in to any kind of event that you need to be at in order to further your career. It just makes sense,
Yeah. Come on, dude. Get with it. But anyway, that'll be tomorrow night in Chicago, Illinois. I'll be watching.
It's $50.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a business expense anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll run. Just get that right off real quick.
Right off. Yeah.
We'll cover all the matches here, talk about some thoughts, and then we'll go home and watch football and be happy.
Yes, let's do it.
So the first match here on the card is Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler, Utah, and the Jurassic Express team of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy versus Matt Hardy, Private Party, and the Hybrid 2, which is Angelico and Jack Evans. Your thoughts here, Rocha?
Why don't you go first on this one? Because
too many people in the damn match.
I was just going to say, this is like too much to negotiate in my head.
A 10-man tag. No, thank you. Not interested. I think that Orange Cassidy's team will win. Like, I just don't have any interest in it. It's too many cooks in the kitchen. It's going to be chaos, and it'll hurt my eyes.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think Orange Cassidy is the way to go with this one. It doesn't strike me as something that Matt Hardy needs to win, even though, as you point, he sent me a text the other day telling me about Matt Hardy. And I just think, this makes more sense. I mean, Punk was talking him up. So many people have been talking him up. This is a way to get the young man over even more so with his team. So that makes the most sense overall for it to happen. So I go with you on Orange Cassidy. Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
The next matchup is the Women's Casino Battle Royal, which should be pretty fun. You're going to have participants including Nyla Rose, Hikaru Shida, Riho, Jade Cargill, a lot of people in this match. Could it be we have one participant that has been named, and that could be the former Ruby Riott, who's now known as Ruby Soho? Mm-hmm. So we could see her. I mean, we could see other people as well. We could see other recently released talents as well.
Sure.
I tend to think that AEW would not necessarily push, if it is indeed Ruby, I don't think they would push her immediately because you get a title shot for winning this. I don't think they would give it to her right away.
Really?
So I tend to think it's going to be Shida that wins this, and we get a rematch between her and Britt Baker. Okay. So I'll go with her. What do you think?
I think the Ruby situation is going to happen. Absolutely. Okay. It's all out. Right. It's all out. You've already announced Punk. Daniel Bryan is probably going to show up at some point in this event rather. So, I mean, this is the time to strike, Aaron. The WWE's on the ropes a little bit. They really fumbled the ball at SummerSlam with the Becky Lynch situation, not with the Brock Lesnar situation. And so this is your chance to step forward and grab even more attention for your brand. And so I think bringing Ruby in this thing and winning, I mean, it's like Brian Gage. Brian Gage walked in and almost got a title shot right off the bat. So it's not unheard of for it to happen in AEW. True. And Ruby could be a fun title contender for Britt Baker. She doesn't have to win, but she can be there to kind of go toe-to-toe with her, swing, and then come down, do a couple other programs, and then earn her way back up there, and then possibly take the title at some point down the road from Britt and create another rivalry between these two that could rival Trish Stratus and Mickie James. So I think this is all possible if you book this thing right. I think it's really possible. So I think Ruby's totally coming back, and I think Ruby's totally winning this thing.
Okay, Ruby Soho for John Rocha. All right. Our next match, I really don't care about. It is the former Big Show, Paul White, versus famed trainer QT Marshall. Don't care who wins. Going to be the Big Show, and it better be quick. Yeah,
Big Show totally. The betrayal from Billy Gunn and all of that. That just makes it all the more evident. All the more evident that Paul White's going to win. Yeah, this is a really clumsy buildup, man. I don't know why this match is even on the card, especially a big card like this. Why you would waste time with something like, unless this is in the middle, so you can go to the bathroom and go get food. This is where it should be placed, in the middle, so you can go to the bathroom and go get food. Because it's going to be a boring match. Paul White's going to win, and that's that. Yeah,
that's it. KO punch. Call it even.
Exactly.
All right, so our next match is Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima in a match where I will be lying to you if I knew who Satoshi Kojima was, which will probably garner the ire of the chat and other people on the internet. I'm sorry, I don't know. I just assume that Jon Moxley will win. That's where I'll go with it.
Yeah, well, because he's only coming in for one match, Kojima. So there's no way you're going to let one of your premier guys lose to Kojima, who's coming in for just one match. But I think this is going to be an awesome match. So Moxley didn't have a program to fight anybody with a belt or anybody with a title.
Yeah. One of your top guys doesn't have a fucking program.
Exactly. One of your top guys. So you got to give him something that's going to keep him excited to wrestle and let the fans talk about him. So this could be the steal of the night in terms of this is an incredible match that will absolutely be the one people are talking about afterwards, or one of the top ones people are talking. This is going to melt the paint off the walls. I think this is going to be an incredible match, and Moxley deserves to get a highlight match because he's been highlighted for all the wrong reasons over the last few months. So let's let him have a fantastic match with Kojima. Kojima makes a name a little bit more with people like you, and then boom, who knows what happens if he comes back again for a longer run? Could be very interesting. So this is great. Two lifers are going to have some fun in the ring, man.
Yeah, I reserve the right to be impressed by Mr. Kojima, so we'll see if it happens. Anyway, next match, Chris Jericho versus MJF, what feels like for the millionth time. The stipulation is if Jericho loses, he's done. He retires. He's out of AEW, I guess. So smart money is that MJF will win, I hope.
Yeah.
And that Chris Jericho will go away to do a tour or the Jericho Cruise or whatever. And there will be some clause where Jericho comes back. But anyway, long story short, out of this, like I know it sounds like I'm not excited for this, but I truly am. We need to get Jericho off of MJF. Like he's just holding on to this dude like cement shoes. Like let the dude do stuff. Like I get it. Jericho, like he latched onto Adam Page. He latched onto Orange Cassidy. He's now latching onto MJF. It's like, okay, we're done. We're done, Jericho. So I hope MJF wins. I'll go with MJF.
I think MJF's been kicking Jericho's ass all year. So, or winning. So in my mind, I think Jericho wins this. I don't want it to happen. Ugh. I think he should retire. I think he's got some work to do on the mic. To be honest with you, I was watching the matches last night. He's got Taz like listening the difference between Taz and Jericho is night and day. And of course, Taz has been doing it for years, so he's gotten. But even from the beginning, Taz I thought was really good. Just had to kind of shave down some of those harder edges and really kind of understand how to play off somebody. And I love him. And so when I listen to Taz and Jericho calling a match, it is really like a varsity versus junior varsity, and it's tough to listen to. So if they're going to go, I don't think they're going to go that route just yet with him. So I think they're going to let Jericho win this thing, get one over on MJF, and then we see where we go from here. Maybe that one win is enough to kind of end this program once and for all, and MJF can move off of this thing, and Jericho can move on to another person. But yeah, I'm so tired of MJF Jericho. This is reaching Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole levels of like, You've oversaturated the market here, or even Ciampa Johnny Wrestling. You've oversaturated the market. We don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah, let's get through this and let's be done with it. Yeah. Like I said, like could you imagine that if let's say MJF wins, and let's say that on I don't think they're going to do this, but on Dynamite or something, when everybody's expecting like, oh, here comes Daniel Bryan, and they play that Daniel Bryan music because they can use Fight of the Valkyries. It's like. If they want to. They're not going to, but they can. Right. So they start playing that music, and they're like, everybody's like all geared up, losing it for Daniel Bryan, and out comes MJF to just be a dick. Like, how good would that be? Like, that would instantly like reinvigorate his character, put him in a feud with Bryan Danielson, I guess. Yeah. Sorry, not Daniel Bryan anymore, but that'd be so great. Like, that's what I want to see from MJF. I don't want to see this shit with Jericho. I'm tired of it. The Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, like, do they even exist anymore? Like, I don't care. So. Yeah, let's move on. Anyway, our next match is for the TNT Championship. It will be the champion Miro versus Eddie Kingston. Should be a pretty good match. I think that Miro has a formidable opponent in Eddie Kingston finally, and he absolutely should destroy him. If you want to continue to build Miro as this giant monster, you have him destroy a guy like Eddie Kingston because it doesn't hurt Eddie because Eddie's a tough guy, so it doesn't matter. He'll come back eventually. But to put Miro over, to have him destroy one of these tough guys, be big for Miro to keep going. I'd like it here. I'd like to see Miro.
Well, Eddie's coming off the WWE stuff, and so making his name there in AEW, now getting a chance to get the spotlight on him, so that's good. I think he's going to push Miro, but Miro will win this thing. I don't think it's going to be as one-sided as you're wanting to see, but I think this is going to be good for Miro overall. And if this is booked right, if this is choreographed right, if the beats are hit correctly, this will help Eddie Kingston even in the loss. It'll help him get even more over with the fans. People get more excited to see what he can do. And so, overall, I think that's what it's going to end up being. And it'll be fun to see them going back and forth with each other. And I think it's a good challenge for Miro, but I don't see him losing that belt for like a year, man. I think he's very much on this trajectory to keep that belt until they're ready to get him into a position to go for the top belt for sure.
Ranger Donald in the chat says the final countdown will probably be Bryan Danielson's music. Yeah, I think so too. But what I'm saying is they could use his WWE music because it's free to use. They don't have to pay for it. So that would be like a way to get people like, oh shit, it's Daniel Bryan. But then he could eventually use that music. That was the point that I was making. So,
or he comes out to the final countdown music when he actually does come out. Whereas MJF,
you could do that.
You're right. MJF swerves everybody playing the old Daniel Bryan music. That's possible too.
That would be great. Mark that down. I'm a writer. There you go. I mean, I wrote the Brock Lesnar return. Anyway,
you did.
The next match is for the AEW Women's World Championship. It is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus everyone's favorite alien, I guess. Chris Statlander. Who you got in this one, John?
I loved Chris Statlander last night in that handicap match. I thought she acquitted herself really well. Was there a couple of clumsy moves from the two other ladies? Yes, but I thought overall Statlander's strength was just phenomenal. When she was holding both of them, that was incredible. So to me, overall, I like the way she wrestles a match. Do I think she's beaten Britt Baker? Fuck no. They want to keep that belt on her as long as possible. She can wrestle. She's beautiful. She's great in the ring. She's great on the mic, rather. And she sells merch. And she is over with the fans as a tough wrestler. So in no way, shape, she's their first like bona fide star out of that division. So in no way do I think they're going to take the belt off her. But I think they see a future champion in Chris Statlander. So I think this match is going to go literally to the last half second or 3/4 or 1/4 second of being a possible victory for Chris Statlander before Baker ends up winning it. So this is going to be a fantastic match, I believe. Her strength versus Baker's expertise and technique in the ring. It's going to be a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, well, I feel the same way. I feel like I agree with a lot of what you said. I think this will be a match to test Britt Baker as champion.
Oh, yeah.
Because Statlander has proved that she could be a formidable opponent. Can she put it together and not? She also does have a reputation as being known as Botchlander. That ain't me. Yeah. That's not me. That's not me saying that. That's the internet saying that. But anyway, so if we can put it together and have a great match, I'm all here for it. Chris Statlander is a Creative Pro Wrestling graduate, much like MJF and Max Caster. They all come from the same school, no matter what you think of Max Caster at this point. But yeah, I think it'll be a great match, a good match to test Britt Baker. But ultimately, it has to end with the lockjaw tap out. It's got to be a win for Dr. B.
Yeah, fair. All right, let's move on. What's the next match?
All right, so the next match is for the AEW Tag Team Championships in a steel cage match. It is the champion, the Young Bucks, versus the Lucha Brothers. Of course, that is Penta El Zero M and Rey Fenix. What do you got here?
I think the Lucha Brothers win once and for all. I think this is going to be, this is going to be a great pay-per-view. If only I had $50 from the fans to afford paying for this pay-per-view. But anyway,
jeez, here we go.
If only someone could send in a Streamlabs for $50 so I could afford it. Or a link. Send me a link to the pay-per-view, a free link. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this match as well. There's so many on this card that I'm looking forward to. This one could steal the night. This one could melt the paint off the walls. This one could send the audience through the roof, because the moves and the talent of all four of these gentlemen in the ring is going to be incredible to witness. And the energy and the electricity of the crowd is going to feed them even more to deliver an incredible match. So I'm looking forward to this one, but I think it's time for the Lucha Brothers to kind of carry these belts and see what the response from the fans are. The Young Bucks lose nothing by losing the belts. They are so established that it means nothing if they lose the belts. But I think with Lucha, having them get it and have a little fun with it, I think could be very, very interesting, man.
It was Gramash said it's $19.99 on Fight. I just pulled it up. It says it's $50.
Yeah, it's $50. I don't know where you.
Come on, Gramash.
Come on,
Gramash. Anyway, yeah, I think my biggest question coming into this match is like, what is Rey Fenix going to do off of a cage? Like, that's good. That's going to be something,
right?
So that's going to be crazy. Everybody's going to get involved with the gimmicks. It's going to be Cutler and Gallows and Anderson, and all the goons are going to be out there doing what they have to do. So it's just, I think it'll be a good match. I don't know if I'm ready for the Lucha Brothers to take the titles, because the Young Bucks have been so annoying and how much I don't care for them.
Yeah.
I still think they're decent champions. I think they need to lose those titles to a team that I feel is better, maybe like a Santana and Ortiz. Maybe they put it.
That's fair. Totally.
Maybe they go up against FTR again in front of people would be nice.
Yeah.
So that would be good. But yeah, I think the Young Bucks will retain.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's flying off the cage? I think Pantazero. Who do you think's flying off?
I think it's Phoenix. Ray Phoenix.
Yeah. You think Ray Phoenix? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
Gino Hour says the Young Bucks are winning because they're dropping the titles to Punk Danielson at Full Gear. In no way do I think Punk and Danielson will become a team. That feels weird to me, Aaron. I don't know if that's the right move. They might. I just don't think they will. What do you think?
That's kind of cutting like your revenue stream, like because
Yes!
you want to sell a pay-per-view on Punk. If it was a one-off, sure, but I don't want them to win the tag team titles and be tag team champions.
Yeah,
they have too many tag teams that you know what I'm saying? Like they have way too many tag teams anyway. So like putting Punk and Bryan together would feel like it was detrimental to that division. I feel like they wouldn't want to do that. So if it's a one-off, sure, I'm fine with that. But I don't want to see them win the tag team titles.
Agreed. All right, what's our next match, my man?
Our next match is for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. It is the champion Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. Now, this match happened a couple weeks ago, and Christian did get the W over Kenny Omega with the unprettier on the chair. Do you think it happens again? Is Kenny Omega going to retain? What do you think?
Yes, Kenny Omega retains the title. There's no way. No offense to Christian Cage. They gave him the lesser of the two titles. So great. Enjoy that victory over Omega, and you've got that belt. But in no way are you taking the premier title that he has on his shoulder. That's going to probably be Hangman Page. A lot of people are predicting. Could be Daniel Bryan. Could be Punk. Who knows? But it seems like Hangman Page is very much penciled in or in pen to be the one who takes the belt off Omega once and for all. But that being said, these guys have fucking fantastic chemistry in the ring, Aaron. So this is going to be a stellar match between both of these guys. And in the end, though, I do think Kenny Omega will take it, but it won't be without an incredible effort from Christian. And God love him, dude. He's in the best shape of his life. He looks incredible, dude, in ways that I'd never thought Christian Cage would look. So shout out to him for doing all the incredible work that he's doing off camera to be and look in the greatest shape that he can possibly be as a wrestler.
Yeah. Outwork everyone's not just a catchy slogan. It's a lifestyle for Christian. I think Kenny will win, and I think it will be hopefully a clean win. I'm sick of the shenanigans between these goofs like Cutler and Gallows and Anderson. Like, sick of this. Like, let Omega and Christian have a barn burner match that we know they can have.
Yeah.
And if that happens, it's going to be great. And I want to see Kenny Omega prove to us that the Kenny Omega that came over from Japan, that's in AEW, that's on this run, is the guy that we thought he was. Because I don't know if he's proved that yet, John. I really don't know. Like, Kenny Omega is thought by a lot of people to be the best in the world. I'm not convinced. This could be one where Kenny Omega convinces me that he is the best in the world. I think he will win. I think he should win.
Okay, fair. All right. Aaron needs convincing from Kenny Omega. Wow.
That's right.
Heard it here first.
Kojima and Omega convince me, damn it.
Somebody break that news. All right. Let's move. Yeah. Did I already chime in on this? Yeah. Let's move on to our next one, my man.
Main event. Well, I don't know if it is the main event, but it's on the card. It's Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk, versus Darby Allin in what should be a great matchup here. If you're going to have CM Punk return in his hometown, you got to put him over. I mean, that's just how it's going to go. Darby's the right guy at the right time. Makes sense. Doesn't hurt him at all. CM Punk wins, of course.
Who gets involved?
I mean, I don't know. Like, you don't want Sting to get involved because that would be weird because he's not a heel. So I don't think anybody gets involved.
Okay, you think it's just a straight up match with these two guys and no one?
Yeah, I think it's just straight up.
All right. I just have a weird feeling. I think Sting's going to factor into this in some way, or even Daniel Bryan possibly. Maybe Sting gets involved. Daniel Bryan comes down to stop it. That's a possibility. I don't know. I might be crazy, but yeah. Overall, though, I do think CM Punk's going to win for all the reasons you just stated, Aaron. There's not much more I can add to that. It's in Chicago. You brought him back. You didn't bring him back to lose, and it loses. And Darby Allin loses nothing, losing to CM Punk, and it's going to be a fantastic match. And I think Darby's going to test him in ways that maybe Phil Brooks hasn't considered yet, now that he's going to actually be in the ring with somebody, because practice is practice. An actual pay-per-view for the first time in 7 years, that's a lot to ask of someone. And so we'll see how Punk performs. We'll see about his timing. We'll see if he's rusty. We'll see if he blows a couple of moves. We'll see what he does. Can he work the crowd still as well as he did before during a match? Can he tell that story? And can Darby Allin hang with him the whole time? Because there's going to be new challenges for Darby to wrestle a wrestler like CM Punk that at times you can't predict what he's going to do. So you have to be on your toes to roll with whatever is going on in the ring. So I think this is going to be a really interesting match to see how it all plays out. And if they pull it off as well as they're hoping to pull it off and send the fans home with a massive, feeling of excitement and love for AEW.
Well, to quote the great Allen Iverson, I'm talking about practice, man. So it's just, yeah, I think AEW is going to send the crowd home happy. I think this will be a landmark pay-per-view for them. I think it's going to do a ton of buys. It's got a lot of people interested. Like people have even said in the chat, their friends coming back to wrestling after so long. So, right. I mean, it's an AEW pay-per-view that I'm going to be watching live. So you're going to get me to pay the money. So there you go. A guy that's been so critical of AEW, you're getting me to pay the money. So it's going to happen. I think this will be a great pay-per-view for AEW. I think we should all enjoy it. Let's have a good time.
Absolutely. Don't disagree with you there. All right. That's our overall predictions and previews. For those of you who are watching us on later on after we do it live, let us know who you think is going to win in the comments section. But let us hear what your thoughts are and do your predictions early so that you can brag about them when they come true tomorrow during the pay-per-view for sure. Grimosh says, I think All Out has a very unpredictable card. Do you agree? What debut do you want to see it All Out? I think Brian helps Cage win and feuds with Omega. Wow, you think Brian is going to help Christian Cage beat Kenny Omega, and Omega's going to drop the belt to Christian Cage? That's what they've been building up to? I don't know, man. I don't think that feels right in my mind. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right thing to do. I think people would be I think that's a way to get people really pissed off because they really want to see Adam Page be the guy to beat Kenny Omega. So I don't like it. I don't know where Daniel Bryan debuts though. Like, do you debut him after Kenny Omega? Do you set that up immediately? Do you debut him somewhere in the show? Do you not debut him at all? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe he'll come out in the Battle Royale, 21-woman Battle Royale.
Oh, God.
All right, we got a couple more Streamlabs and then we're out of here, Aaron. And thank you all so much for all the Streamlabs and Super Chats you sent in throughout the show. Means a lot. Last Cinema Sailor said, I don't recall what your picks were, but who is the greatest heel of all time? Hollywood Hogan, Jake Roberts, Roddy Piper, etc. And who would be the greatest contemporary heel? Randy Orton, Alexa, Bayley, etc. Okay.
Best heel of all time, Roddy Piper, for sure, because he's a guy that can get you steaming mad, but at the same time make you love him so dearly, and that's such a hard line to walk. And you believe Piper, like you believe that he could probably beat your ass, and he was so sleight of tongue that he could say anything and just flip it on you. Yeah. So I would say that's why Piper was the best heel. Contemporary heel, see, that's tougher, man. I'm gonna say it, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns.
How dare you?
Acknowledge the tribal chief.
You recency bias motherfucker.
He's so good, but he's so good. Like, we knew Roman Reigns was good. We didn't know how good he could be. This is how good that Roman Reigns could be. The tribal chief at the top level.
People forget how great of a heel The Rock was. People forget. You know,
they don't like The Rock as a heel. They like him as a babyface.
No, they loved him as a heel, which is how he became a babyface, and he was so great at it. And you know, Stone Cold, even when he was a heel, was over with the fans massively. People hated the fucking Rock when he came back as a heel, like legitimately hated him, man. Yeah, maybe the race played into it as well, which really helped him even more so go into the heel side of things with people. But he was a fucking fantastic heel because he could play the regular heel and the chicken shit heel at the same time, sometimes within the same match, Aaron. And he was brilliant at it. And it was great on the mic. So yeah, but Piper, I recently watched Rivalries. I was telling Aaron about this off camera. Like, I recently watched Rivalries on the WWE Network with Piper and Hogan. Good God Almighty, man! You forget people. You want to get a lesson in heeldom. Watch Piper in those documentaries. Watch that AEW or A&E documentary on him. Piper was the greatest ever because of what Aaron said. He had an uncanny ability to get under people's skin, and he was the nicest guy aside from that, a lot of people said. And so his ability to play both sides really meshed with people, which was brilliant. And at a time when people didn't quite know how to make the heel work on such a massive scale. People might argue Ric Flair. You could argue Ric Flair is one of the greatest heels ever as well, and had the belt, which really adds extra emphasis to being a heel, because that's rare when a person who's a heel gets to carry the belt for as long as Flair did. So that's you could argue that for sure. But I think in the end, I agree there, and it is Piper. But I think Flair's a close second, followed by The Rock. And the greatest contemporary heel, I'm going to go recency bias as well. I think Bayley is incredible. I think Bayley has
ding dong. Hello.
I mean, she has the Piper instinct to go right under your skin. But of course, off camera, everyone says she's the sweetest person. So it works so well. I love Bayley as a heel. The heel turns work so well for me. The glasses, the way everyone dismisses her, but it never affects her, how they dismiss her. It's brilliant. And I hope she's recovering, still on the road to recovery, and we'll be back soon. But yeah, I love her as a contemporary. I know everybody love MJF and people like, and Roman Reigns. I totally respect that, but there's just something about Bayley's heel work that I fucking thoroughly love. All right, one last thing here from Justin Toner. He says, hi, John and Aaron. I'm with you guys on your all-out predictions. Daffney passing was a real tragedy. Hope others get the help they need. Absolutely. SmackDown had some good stuff last night. Yeah, Bianca cut a great promo on Becky. Also, a demon return was teased for Finn Balor versus Roman.
Yeah, that was something that happened. They had the heartbeat with the lights. Is it a demon? Is it a fiend?
Is it a fiend? Oh, stop.
No, it's not. That's wishful thinking. That's wishful thinking. But I don't know, man. Like, interesting stuff going on in the title picture. Like, Paul Heyman having Brock Lesnar's ringtone, or Brock Lesnar's theme as his ringtone, is hysterical. That's great. I'm glad to see Finn getting some love, though. I would like to see that. So
yeah, it's been a long road back, brother, for him to be in the position that he's in right now, and I think it's going to be a great match. If they have to pull the demon out, He's not going to win, but you might as well pull out the stops and let
the demon's never lost, John.
That's what I'm saying. So you make people think that it's possible that the demon is going to beat Roman Reigns for the belt, which won't happen. But you got to hype these things up. This feels old school hype, like back when you could take little things and build them up the way correctly to lead to a fantastic match. This feels like that's what's happening here as well. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. And there is no fiend. Cut it out.
Shout out to Dion for the $20 super sticker. So,
thank you, Dion.
No comment, but thank you.
Appreciate that. That's a $30. What's the A $20? Is that like?
I thought that was just his name.
That's Canadian. I think that's Canadian.
Dion. Oh, sorry. Well, then it's more. Right? I don't know.
It doesn't get me to the 50 for the pay-per-view.
Oh my God. Come on. You're an asshole. Hey, just real quick. Just real quick. Like, we're having a cookout tomorrow, right? Because it's a long holiday weekend. I'm off for 3 days. Woo! Nice. You know where I sit when I sit at the table? The head of the table. Thank you. Acknowledge him. Acknowledge him.
Jesus Christ. Nice. I do like the shirt with Heyman and all of them at the table. That's fucking nice. What is it? Family Life or whatever it says?
The Bloodline or something like that.
The Bloodline. That's it. That's a nice shirt. That's a nice shirt. I was very, very tempted to get that shirt for sure. But I got too many black shirts as it is. I got to get some colors in my collection. All right, we're out of here. Thank you all so much for watching this live episode of Strong Style. It's always great to hang out on Saturdays with you all. Thank you so much to this over 70 of you who watched us consistently throughout the show today. Please remember to hit a like on this and leave a comment down below. More than anything else, share it on your social media, because that lets other wrestling fans who are friends with you or follow you know that you're into this content, you're into this channel, and they might come take a chance on us and hang out with us and give us some views, and maybe go back and watch old episodes to give those views as well. So please do all of that to support the show overall. Aaron, another fun show, brother. Always love hanging out with you, man. Tell people where they can find you, brother.
Haskell's telling me that my match with Alex Marzonia is going to be on YouTube tomorrow, I guess, at 3 p.m. So I didn't even know that. So check that out. But also FCL match this Tuesday as well. It'll be my second match.
Nice.
So check me out then on the Schmodown Twitch channel.
Nice.
I'll be doing that. I did a head of the table style promo, so check that out. And if you're in the Orange City, Florida area tomorrow and you want to come over and have a beer and a hot dog, hit me up. We'll do it.
Wow. Nice.
We'll do it.
But bring your mask and be vaccinated.
Fuck yeah. If you're not vaccinated, just fuck off. Sorry. Just fuck off. My mother-in-law got her 3rd shot the other day. So.
Oh, yeah. Dude, if I could get a 3rd shot, I would. Dude,
Yeah,
I've survived so far without getting it, and I don't want to get this thing.
Stick me in the neck.
Yeah, exactly. And they just announced that California has the Mu variant now that's shown up, or Mu variant. I don't know how they're saying it. That showed up last night. So fuck, man. All right, we're out of here. Thank you all so much. Please follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. If you want to head on over to Twitch, maybe if I decide to do a watch along tomorrow night, I know Aaron's going to be doing it there at his house, but maybe I'll do a watch along on Twitch, or some of you might join me for that if I end up getting those $50 or finding them in a couch somewhere to order the pay-per-view, and if my girlfriend allows me to do it as well, because we might have plans. We'll see overall. But yeah, and of course that's the Outlaw Nation on Twitch, all one word, and the Patreon is patreon.com/John Rocha if you want to come and hang out with us and talk some wrestling and talk some entertainment, talk some movies, all of that there. See the multiple tiers you can get involved in. All right, much love to you. Take care of yourselves. Be well, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of Strong Style.
Wow.